Hello and welcome back for Tenor for Tenor episode number. Omikin?
I don't even remember. Is
Okay,
it
episode
4?
something. I think it's 4. Episode number 4. This one is a bit delayed, sorry, but it's because Omikin was at AX. How was it?
There was so many freaking people around. Oh my
The photos
god.
looked nuts. Photos looked absolutely nuts. Oh, I forgot to change scenes. But yeah, the just those. You said it was the South Hall, right? Where it's the
Yeah,
escalator.
that's like the photo spot to take of like everyone.
Yeah, and yeah, it looked nuts. You said was it day 2? Was the busiest? Or
Um
was it 3?
yes, technically it depends on how you categorize them. I think AX categorizes it as day 2. It was Friday.
Yeah,
That
okay.
was like the craziest day.
That's surprising because I would think like Saturday. I mean, I guess it's a public holiday there, anyways, right? With 4th of July.
4th of July was on Saturday. So
Do you get the
yes.
Friday off?
See, that's the thing. Like government places get that Friday off. Smaller businesses, it's up to the business owner. My shop, up until like the Wednesday, was like, I don't know if I want to stay open. It's like, dude, nobody's gonna be open. Just like, and it's slow right now for our clients. Like, just don't come in. You have to pay people to be there. Just don't open.
It seems silly to open up if you're not like at least a restaurant or something like that on the 4th of July.
But so we feel me and Hilo we went together and we feel like on Saturday maybe like people decided not to go because Friday was so crazy. Like we
Oh,
noticed a
okay.
lot of people like on Twitter were like, well, that was like the entire weekend. Like every time you refreshed your timeline, it's like, ugh, Anime Expo is so crowded. It's the worst con ever. And like, yeah, Anime Expo is crowded because it's the biggest freaking convention in the country. But like, you know, it just go. You already have a badge. So,
Yeah, if you're there,
it wasn't like crazier than last year. That last year was my first time going.
so you feel like it was about the same.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
Did they
it's
change any like layouts or anything compared to last year?
outside, I would say so. People who had gone to AX more years than me probably have a better idea, but internally, it was pretty much the same. I showed you the map, like
Hmm.
everything was basically in the same areas. The biggest thing, though, was they essentially they essentially cut Artist Alley in half.
Oh,
So,
that
like,
sucks.
if you know anything about conventions, Artist Alley is like the place to go, especially West Coast uh conventions because they tend to pull a lot of like really good artists to those. And then they just cut it in half and filled the rest of the space with like those reseller merch booths that nobody goes to. So it was
Reseller
a little
merch.
disappointing.
So like
So like
they buy
it
figures and resell it or something?
pretty much. Like if you imagine like an anime store in your local mall, like that's kind of what they're like.
Okay. I imagine they got a fair amount of feedback on that then, if most people didn't like it.
Yeah, I hope so. Like it was surprisingly disappointing. Like we ended up going to my sister requested some merch for me to pick up for her. And we went on Thursday and because the artist alley was basically cut in half. The attendance was not, so like the rows were super packed. We the booth that I had to go to was 10 booths in like a maybe 30 booth long row.
Okay.
Um it took us like 15 minutes to get there from it was booth 10 and we started at 1. It took us like 15 minutes just to like like huddle there.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. We went to that booth, I got my stuff, and then we just left for the day. Like I was not about to be walking through Artist Alley when you could barely walk anywhere.
Sounds like not a good experience to like
Like
go to
every
Artist Alley for.
time,
Yeah,
yeah, every time I'm like in those crowds, I just think if there was an emergency, we would all die.
right.
There was that many people. And it's disappointing because like when Artist Alley is crowded, you can't really see the booths because there's just so many people blocking
Yeah, I
the
think it
like the art.
misses the point
So
of like having them there in the first place, right?
essentially my strategy is like you could only see like the above art prints that they display above their booth, and like I just look for artists that have like a nice style, and then I try to get a closer look if I can. If I can't, like I just hope they don't have good stuff then.
Like last year, you streamed a bit of Artist Alley in Discord.
Yeah. I think I did late Saturday and Sunday, I think.
Okay. And
Um,
it sounds like this year was even like more packed because there's like less booths, so more people are in the same area or something.
it was pretty nuts. But my strategy is just go shopping on Sunday. That's when like half the people are gone anyway. So most booths are sold out of stuff, but you know, you gotta accept it when there's like a billion people going.
Is there a strat like Granblue Fairs where you just go super early?
Yes. So a big part of Anime Expo is the exhibitors. So like the big booths, so like Games, Hoyoverse, stuff like that, and they sell like official merch and stuff. Same thing with artists, to a lesser extent. A lot of people line up really early, even before the convention opens, just to get to those booths like as soon as possible and get like whatever limited merch that they have. Um, so I am not about that. So I think I got there at like 1 p.m. on most days. So, you know, whatever.
That's yeah. I imagine it's probably the most crowded around that time as well.
Yeah, I think the first day so the first day was Thursday, and they had the Granblue panel with Fukuhara at 1 p.m. I think I showed up around like 12:30-ish to 1. I was
Mm.
almost late. You know, I'm typically late to things because I hate getting in cosplay. I'm old now. So, but it was a good time for what I did end up experiencing.
Those panels with Fukuhara is the thing I'm most jealous about because this is his first AX since whenever, many years. So
Yeah,
him being
I
there to talk
he
was like such a cool thing.
he mentioned it. I think he said it's been like 3 years since his last thing. Yeah,
Sheep said
2023.
2023. Okay. Yeah, and I imagine this one was very nicely timed for him because of Evo the weekend before, because he was there for versus stuff. Um, and yeah, like he did like his talks, and you guys got to ask him questions and things like that too.
Yeah, the panel itself was like it wasn't like terribly long, but it was really interesting to hear him talk about all the things about Relink and like the behind the scenes dev stuff. And yeah, he did do a small like Q&A with the fans, including the pre-submitted questions that they selected from as well. So it's really nice to hear from him.
Okay. Oh, he did not attend Evo. He was in LA for Summer Games Fest. Right. Okay. I see. I see. So yeah, he happened to be in the States for other game dev related stuff. So it lined up nicely for AX. Um, I want to talk a little bit about what he talked about on the panels because I thought it was quite interesting. That and recent, I guess, interviews he's done. Because like some of those concept arts, like the Lilith one, I thought was quite interesting. I'm trying to
Yeah,
find
I
it to
did
bring it up
not
on
expect
stream.
to see that at all.
Yeah, here we go. So yeah, this one here. Um, yeah, we got to see some concept art from Relink, and they clearly have Lucilius as an influence here too. So we talked about when Lilith in PS the Astrals showed up, and she had like the cracks under her skin, and we could see the blue fire underneath, and that made us think that maybe Astrals are just like this, like it's part of their characteristics. And I think yeah, this sort of soft confirms it.
I wonder if they scrapped this because like at some point they just planned to add Fa anyway. And maybe it would have just been odd to have both Purple Lady Lilith and Blue Man Fa.
Maybe I can see that. Maybe they didn't want to take away the attention from Far later on. But it seems yeah, like in like they mentioned that Fukara regretted not being able to add this. So it could have just been. I feel like it would have been taken out for lore reasons, though, if anything.
I do hope we get something more with Lilith in the new Endless Ragnarok update tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, in 12 hours at the time of
Is it
recording.
12 hours?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
midnight. It's midnight release, so it comes out at 1 a.m. my time. So I'll be a couple hours late because I'm not gonna stay up all night playing it.
I'll be like 12 hours late because I won't be able to get to it until after work.
Oh yeah, fair enough. So yeah, we'll probably start around the same time then. Um, but yeah, this one and then the id design as well.
The id one kind of surprised me. It was a little bizarre to see.
It's interesting that this was like on the table. Honestly, what do you think of it?
I think it's a little goofy looking.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why they kind of scrapped it, but I'm not entirely sure what to think about this.
I
Yeah, it
think
definitely reads very furry.
um, the thing here is that it's clearly PBHL, and it was in Reading Story. Chad will have to correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was more related to Versa, right?
Yes, he wasn't like with Protobaha, which is kind of like Lyria's type of thing. So they
So
they probably
yeah,
had to switch it up. But
so yeah, I
like I
think
think
that was part
the
of the reason, maybe.
the overall look with the PBHL like bindings is still pretty cool. So
Yes, PBHL, like the actual dragon, is like one of my favorite Granblue designs. So he had Versa sealed in him. Yeah, that's what I remember. Something along those lines. So. Mm-hmm. And then he also teased that he's working on something new.
right, he mentioned that in person, and then I actually recently read it in Sheep's interview with him.
Yep.
So I guess we'll see. It didn't seem like he hinted that it was Granblue related. He was very like general, like it's just his next project. So I
Right.
guess we'll see.
Yeah. Obviously, I'd like to see if it's another Granblue franchise thing, but as far as I know, Cygames has a couple things that they've previously announced. But Fukara made it sound like it's something that's not been announced yet. Yeah. Yeah, it's not necessarily GBF. It could be and could not be. Yeah. We'll have to see. I'm at least hoping that there's a couple of post launch updates for Relink, just like the base Relink game, because that was really fun. Mm. You said you got to play Eustace, right? Did you play Eustace? Or he was just there?
Yes. So I think that was one of the first things we did because I wanted to get the stickers before they ran out because they actually ran out of the promo stuff last year when I went.
Right.
Um,
At the Cygames booth, yeah.
but They essentially had the full cast playable, and then in terms of the new characters, they had Beatrix and Eustace. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
And the demo was kind of just like you go into like this big room, you fight a bunch of like monsters. After you fight like the small monsters, you fight like a bigger monster, and once you defeat that bigger monster, you fight Behemoth. Um, and I think you time out of the demo before you can, unless you're like really good or something, before you can beat Behemoth.
Okay. Sounds fun. Is there anything else from AX you want to mention before we
Um,
move on?
I think it was a really fun time. It was really cool to see everyone that came, all the Granblue cosplayers, all the people who recognized me in Hilo. So hello to you if you ended up seeing me. I'm sorry, I'm not like how I am online. I'm very soft spoken. I feel bad because when I asked your question at the panel, the poor MC, the translator, she could not hear me at all. I had to like repeat myself like 3 times. Thankfully, J2 understood me enough to clarify.
Okay, I see. And yeah, you cosplayed Lupa as well and got to lead around the Woba crew.
That was definitely an interesting experience. I got
That's like a
recognized.
once in a lifetime thing. That
Yeah, I was just standing in line for merch, and then some like big VTuber came up to me and was like, "Oh my God, Lupa!" Turns out she's like the one of the biggest Lupa fans. I got a picture with her, and then I noticed that Ua had another cosplay meetup the next day, which I was originally planning to wear Frau for the second Grand Blue panel. But I missed the first Ua meetup, so I'm like, I'm just gonna wear Lupa for that. And that meetup actually got too big that the fire marshal came and tried to cancel it, which was kind of crazy.
so many
Um,
people.
yeah, it was super busy. It was like right in the middle of like a walkway, and it's like, what are you guys doing? But
Did you just have
we
to
had
move
the
away,
meetup.
or
Yeah, we had to like escort like the entire meetup, like maybe 100 feet away to like a slightly bigger area. But the Wua mascots are really fun to be around. They're so chaotic.
they
Um,
look
and
really fun? Yeah.
and like you said, I ended up having to like lead the parade because after the Wua meetup, we walked to the Wua booth. And you know, among a crowd of like 1 billion people, everyone was supposed to follow the big Denia mascot, but no one could see it because it's like the same size
Sure.
as a
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
So I had to use my Lupa spear and just kind of like wave it in the air, kind of like the Patapon flag bearer. And I just did that throughout the entire con. It was really fun. There's some videos and such of that.
Patapon. Um, Zynex asks, was Uma Musume as popular as Twitter made it out to be?
Yeah, actually. I actually the meetup right next to the Wua meetup was an Uma meetup, and it was like twice as big. It was huge. And that was just one day. Pretty much anywhere you looked, there was an Uma cosplayer. So like it was really big this year.
And then Ultrato asks, Omikin, did you go to the midnight mahjong party? I feel like I know the answer to that
Absolutely
one.
not. I'm so old. We pretty much left the con every day at around like 3 to 4 p.m.
What time does
And
it close?
after that, the general con stuff closes around like 6, I think.
Okay.
But like there's after hours like meetups and such, but I'm so old for that. I go to bed, I take a nap, I eat dinner, that's it.
All right. Okay, sounds like a fun time. I'm definitely jealous. Omikin's trying to get me to go.
You should.
I
I
would
think
love
you would
to.
enjoy it.
I mean, entire issue is that, hold up, let me just, Brisbane to Los Angeles distance. The problem is the 11,500 kilometers between us, otherwise known as 7,169 miles.
Okay, and
What do you mean, and?
we have crazy technology now called planes.
Right, okay. Also, a 13 to 14 hour flight,
Okay.
not including
Oh.
any layovers.
That's like normal between West Coast and East Coast travel. So
Right. Probably in one of the craziest periods of the year. I mean,
okay,
Munching
I'll
mentioned
give you
this,
that.
but Munching mentioned this, but like this year would have been especially crazy with the World Cup.
Just a bit, you know.
Just a bit, yeah.
But
Yeah,
next year we're not having the World Cup, so
yeah, perhaps. Like I'd love to go. I've outside of Granblue Fairs, I've never been to a convention. So, and I think
it's
you said Granblue
way
Fairs is a
different.
very different,
Yeah, it's super
convention. So,
different.
yeah, I want to go to the US one day. I have a big bucket list of things I want to do. So yeah, I'd love to do it one day. Maybe next year, we'll see. Maybe we can get something going. All right, let's move on. Since we talked about Relink a bit, we can talk about some of the new stuff that's been revealed since last time.
Sure,
Namely,
you've got to tell me all about it because I have been so out of the loop like the past week.
well, the main thing that's been revealed really is the trailer, which you've seen. The trailer a couple of
Right.
days ago.
The big thing.
The big thing. So at AX, Fukada teased it as well that there was a mystery boss after Bubs and the world, or the world then Bubs. I think the order is, but then yeah, and in that trailer, they showed Hexa.
Quotes Hexa.
Quote Hexa. Yeah, from the trailer, my suspicion, I don't know if you agree, but I feel like it's budget Dragon Hexa.
Yeah, I think when they added all 6 dragons to that, I feel like it was almost an inevitability that they would add like some form of like Hexa after we got it in the mobile game. It's interesting that it's just Hexa again. Like it's not like a different like market pantry version. It's just the same
Yeah,
form.
I think that's what is tripping me up a bit, because like I feel like if it was Market Pantry dragons turning into like a Hexa, they would make it look a little different. But from what we could tell, it is pretty much the Hexa that we know. But they also call it something different. They said Omnia Zegolith or Ominous Zegolith, something along those lines. So it clearly has a different name.
I wonder why it has a different name.
Mm,
Like it's not like hexachromatic. Like I feel like that's just kind of what it is because
yeah.
it's based on the 6 dragons. So
So maybe it. Yeah, I feel like the different name is maybe because it is based off different six dragons. But, obviously my hope is that they somehow surprise us and it's actual Hexa, but like Fidil's
I
the one
don't
leading us
think
to it. Yeah,
so.
exactly. Like Fidil's the one leading us to it, and if it was actual Hexa, Fidil would be a part of it too.
Right.
So I think like that already sort of deconfirms that it's actual Hexa. Um, do you think there's going to be any sort of like the 100 to 40% phase in that fight, or do you reckon it's just going to be like 40 to 0?
See, like they already have duo fights in the game.
They do, yeah.
So it's like they can absolutely do that. It's just a matter of like would they do that? And like I can kind of see it, but I don't know.
It's funny because I remember one of the earliest mods for Relink I saw from like a quest battle side was people making Hexa like as a challenge
Right.
fight where they would put like the two dragons with each other and you would have to fight them at the same time. I wonder if the devs like saw things like that too and they thought it was a cool idea. Hexa's definitely like a really cool boss for them to add.
I'm interested to see how they end up translating that to like a 3D fighter like this.
Yep, me too.
Because I can imagine Bubs in like Relink like this. I can imagine Fa, but it's a bit harder to imagine Hexa. So
For
I'm
sure.
excited to see how it turns out.
Especially because below 40, most of the time what you see from him is just him auto attacking, right? Because you ideally cancel most things. I wonder what his 15-0 is going to look like, because in the mobile game, that is like the do or die. You have, I forget how many turns, like 7 turns to kill him.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah. I think they're going to put in skill seal. You know how like Far Zero has it too? I think they're going to add skill
Does
seal
he?
somehow. Yeah, Far Zero has skill seal. It's really, oh no, Far Zero has CA seal. Sorry, I think. Not skill seal. He might have both.
It's been so long.
But
Since
Fazio has
I
CA seal, which is really rude because in the labors you have to Ogi, right? And then he
Right.
CA seals you, and then you can't Ogi. Oh, he has both, says Tay. Okay, yeah. So I remember the CA seal because it's really rude because you're trying to do labor, whatever it is, and then you can't Ogi anymore. So yeah, I imagine Hexa has some sort of skill seal because that's like a big part of it. But yeah, it's really hard to imagine what Hexa is going to be like, because I feel like what most people remember Hexa for is the 2 million Jinx omens in the mobile game and 40%. I think that's like the two big things that people remember from the raid. So
yeah, I don't really that like even the auto attacks and the special attacks aren't really like fancy. Like nothing's really happening. You just kind of get blasted by beams.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I know that they're gonna make it interesting and fun. So I can't wait for that.
Yep. Like even just seeing the world from the earlier trailers, like that
Oh
was
my
sort of nice
god.
too.
I'm so excited for the world.
The world has so many cool animations, and like just seeing him do all the Arcarum attacks, and when we saw him do like the Temperance like waves, things like that, it was so cool. So I'm really looking forward to all the references to all the evokers. Do you want to see another evoker in post launch?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care what happens.
Okay, you already
I
got your
got what
Frau.
I got.
You got your Frau. All right, fair enough. Okay, well, we'll all be jumping into Relink when it releases in less than 12 hours from now. So,
Okay, a little more than that.
or a little
but
more than
yes.
that, yeah, like as well for me. But
No
it
spoilers.
releases. Yeah, no spoilers. Chat room. I'll jump into it at my usual stream time tomorrow. Okay, so AX talk and Relink talk over. So since the last 10 for tenor, we've had Guild War happen. We had Guild War happen, and it's
Has it really been that long?
yeah. Because the last time we did the 10 for tenor, it was right before Guild War. It
I
was on
don't
the
even
day
remember
of.
Guild War. I'm gonna be honest.
It's been a while. I do want to talk about it a bit. I know it's a bit like it's late to talk about it because it's been a while, but it's the first Guild War with Higurashi and Blazing Mistral transcended. We got to see a lot of, in my opinion, relatively underutilized characters shine. And yeah, we can also talk about like the boss dude and things like that. So first up, the spear-shaped elephant in the room, Blazing Mistral. This weapon went nuts.
Good. You
went,
bought it mid Guild War.
I did buy it mid Guild War. I bought it on day 2, I think. Day 2. I mean, I was talking about how I was maybe considering it for my illustrious ticket, and I did want it. And yeah, Guild War was the one of the things that pushed me to buy it, and I do not regret it. I remember when I bought it, you were like, haha, you got the wrong weapon. Should have got Higurashi, because there was like Higurashi setups that were better at the time.
I don't think there were any like really good Higurashi setups. like I have this idea that like Ogi's gonna be okay, but it's
Mm.
never gonna be like the best in Guild War. There's always gonna be some like mash setup that's gonna beat it out.
And then 250 this year happened.
And 250 happened.
And then 250 happened. But it didn't happen the way we expected. So let's go through. I think prelims and interlude, so basically 90 to 95 and EX Plus, all that went pretty standard. Nothing special there. Day one with 150, I think that was also pretty standard, if I remember right. I don't think anything was super different there. It was just like your regular Wamdas teams and stuff. I think day two, when NM200 released, that's when we started seeing a lot more of the Mistral setups. Mistral setups and both Higurashi setups. Did you end up doing
Yeah,
Mistral
once
or
you
Higu?
for which one?
200.
200 I did Higu. Yeah, let me see.
I think
Yeah,
that
I
was
think I did
3-turn,
Higu.
right?
See. Yeah, I think it was the Mistral Cane one
Okay.
with Ragazzo. It was just like a full auto.
Oh, you did the FA one. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
But I think I tried the like strike time one with Lyria, but like I didn't use Lyria because I think I used Antheria. Oh yeah, it was this Antheria one. That was the one I did. I don't think I could get the 44-second Mistral one to work in a way that I liked, so I just did the Higurashi one.
Right, yeah. So yeah, 200 was really the rise of the illustrious weapons this time around, but immediately Higurashi came up with some pretty quick setups that were very easy to pilot because it's, mainly full auto refresh. And then Blazing came out with some setups too. I think the interesting thing here was to see the surge in usage of characters like Holiday Kane, Elmot, and then there was also the Zal usage as well for the skill mash. It's basically a skill mash team with Lancer Origin.
Yeah, a lot of characters who just kind of do things without needing to click a bunch of skills. So you could just like mash a bunch of turns or like do really big turns without clicking too much.
I think a lot of people forgot that Kane, and we'll talk about this more when we talk about 250, but prior to this, Kane for me was an S2 bot. You click S2, he gives echo, and that's sort of it. Maybe you click S3 sometimes to extend Ragazor. But
he was an auto attacker essentially.
Yeah, but this skill war, he was an auto dispeller with his first passive, where you remove a buff if he has more than 10 buffs. And then he was also a charge attacker because he has the Deku passive. So yeah, character's very good. And in my post Guild War tier list, I put him at like the best character at this Guild War, which I would not have said, or like I would not have predicted before Guild War.
That rebounds has kind of got nuts.
It was good. So yeah, the 200 team where Zal doesn't attack, so that's less lockout. Elmot's dispelling, Kane's dispelling, and then obviously Mistral has a lot of synergies with dispelling, so that was very good. And then 250. 250, we saw some of these setups on 200 as well, but 250 we saw the rise of Ogi Mistral with Lancer Origin.
It's good.
And that, I think, most people did not see. Like, if you're thinking Ogi, I think it's very natural to think Higurashi. But
okay, hold up.
Yep.
People who didn't have Mistral before would think that.
Okay, fair.
The real Mistral fans knew.
Okay. So the real Mistral fans knew about Kane, Antoria, Atum teams.
That was the Makutan Makar setup that I've been running for
No, that's
months.
fair. That's fair. That's fair. I did learn about that after Guild War. But yeah, no, I didn't see it. Well, it makes sense afterwards, right? Things like this always make sense afterwards, but I would have still thought like in an Ogi setup, Higul would be better. But you just do so much damage because
It's with the upgrade, it's just so much skill damage.
yeah, and the thing about Mistral is you self-activate it with giving the boss buffs.
Plus
So
the Versusia interaction, it's
yeah, the
crazy.
Vesusia interaction was nuts. So basically, how that works, if you guys don't know, is when you Ogi with Mistral, you give the boss buffs. Now, normally, how Mistral dispels is that you dispel first and then add the buffs. So if you had Seer reactivate, then your second Ogi would dispel the buffs, but your first Ogi wouldn't do anything. With Vesusia, your first Ogi will now dispel because after you give the boss buffs, that's when Vesusia procs. So immediately you're like dispelling and you have Vesusia every turn basically. So it's just a lot of extra free damage. And this weapon giving you charge bar means that you can loop as well. And then you just have crazy characters on your team like Kane and Artum. I think the last slot in that team, the thing that ended up best was Antoria, but early on people were testing Elmot. I also saw Lyria a lot as well. And speaking of Lyria, I think she had a pretty good performance in the Skill War.
Yeah, she was definitely like you used Lyria during like buffs to cut skills from N3 and such.
Yeah.
But even then, if you didn't have like N3 or something, she was still a pretty solid slot.
Yeah, and like she auto nukes and she gives you a dispel as well, right? So she like synergizes with all of these things. Yeah, when a foe has 3 or more removable buffs, she dispels. So like she fits with everything you want in the team too. So yeah, this Guild War, this Kane character, this blazing Mistral weapon, they sort of went nuts. So much more than I personally expected.
It was fun.
How did you feel about Mikaboshi and her weapon?
Um, it was really good for the lower level fights. So like pretty much just Nightmare 90. There was the double CAG and Mimic Mino setup. That was like stupidly tight. But I was able to do it with my Mikaboshis. In terms of Mikaboshi, the character, I think she would have been good for a lot of people who doesn't have like the really premium setups. But in terms of like the people who have everything, it was pretty much just like the super sweaty try hard mash setups, and even then, like those pretty much were the same or worse than the Ogi setups
Yeah,
with
it
Kane and
was. Yeah,
such. But I still like her, so
yeah. It's funny because in retrospect, in Guild War, the best thing on the banner wasn't Mika or her weapon; it was Ludern.
this is such a stupid summon. It's so good.
Ludern was the Ludern gap was real. Like that was massive. I mean, it's all the teams have such high skill damage. So this summon giving you 100k sub on top of Sentinels in your grid, and then an extra 20% cap. It was just there, like in every team, I feel. If you had it, you put it in. And if you didn't have it, you had to add extra buttons or something. So
How
yeah,
did you
this
feel with no second sun in the Guild War?
it didn't feel as bad as I thought it would. Because
I remember last year it was pretty rough,
last
right?
year was rough. Yeah, last year was really rough without the second Sennin. But this year I used one Sennin. I had the 0-star Ludern because I didn't want to stone it yet, and then I was using Kuvira stick. And what I did in my setups is I ran Sagacity Key. So I had Sagacity Key plus Senden, which maxes out the skill amp side, and then the tempering from the Koregra stick, which gives me skill cap. So compared to other grids, I was running less CA cap, but it turns out that didn't really matter because my skill damage was really high. So, and when people like Nox tested, they were like, "Hey, I'm not actually sure second sentence better in some situations." So like this being able to run Sagacity plus Senden was maybe in some cases even better. Maybe that's me coping. I don't know. I don't have second sentence to test, but
I
at
think
the
you're right though. It's
mm,
really similar, if anything.
yeah, at the very least in the V2 grids, it didn't really make that much of a difference to have this second sentence versus not. I think it was very, very, very comparable at the very least. I still want the second sentence, obviously, but at the very least, running Sagacity plus Koregra stick this time was acceptable. And a lot of the situations where I feel like I was like 1% off or whatever, if I just stole my Lodon, it would have been completely fine as well.
Do you think you'll ever stone Ladern, or are you gonna wait another year?
I just didn't want to stone it this time because summer's so close. And we had the formal banner too, which we'll talk about soon. But there's so many pulling windows here that I didn't want to do it for Guild Ball to cut like a button. And I'm happy with that decision, basically. I am mainly worried about future summons from this series now because it's a permanent summon, so you never really want to spark on a permanent banner, but sometimes you're just not
It's
going to have a
okay.
choice.
They're gonna do the different weapon types, and Wind is gonna get Ogi supplemental.
Oh, okay. I see. Hey, that sucks though.
What? Since when? Wind Ogies, right?
No, Wind is a skill damage team in disguise.
Mm.
It's like the Fire team. You said Fire Ogi doesn't do Fire Ogi damage. Wind is the same. Wind does skill damage.
Sure. I guess that's why they got rid of the Glory on Murcielago.
I guess this is a nice segue into the formal characters where we did get a Wind Ogi character, who's another sort of skill damage character as well. We got Meg, and we got Meg and Mari Formal, and then we got Europa Formal as well. Did you spark this banner?
I did not.
Okay.
I did all the pulls that I had.
Okay.
Then that's it. That's all I put in.
What'd you get?
I got Meg. I got Europa. I think
Okay.
those are like the two important things, I guess.
Yes, so you got everything. All right. I sparked, and I had to spark Meg and Mari, and we got Europa along the way. So I was not able to get my second send in once again. But
It's like my dog Tana. We're just never gonna get these.
yeah. Anyways, Meg and Mari came out. So my impressions upon using this character so far is that they're obviously an extremely important part of Wind HL teams. I think the easiest comparison to make is Charlotta. They do very similar things. They can
Really?
click a lot of buttons, but I think the biggest comparison is that they both double Ogi, and they both provide a lot of charge bar. On a offensive level, on an offensive level, Meg and Mari is far superior. They're way faster. You don't have to click any buttons, like because they just give the charge bar at the end of the turn if you Gale bursted. So every turn you get this. They also heal every turn, and they give the CA specs and the defense. So they provide way more damage. Charlotta, where that character shines, is more on a defensive front, mainly because of S1. S1 and some omens where you just need to click a lot of buttons. Meg and Mari can click, but Charlotta can click more and more consistently. Meg and Mari has a stack that they're limited by, which won't be up all the time. So that's my main takeaway. Pretty much any solo where you use Charlotta before, you can probably put Meg and Mari and you'll do more damage and you'll probably kill faster at the cost of being a little squishier over time because you don't have access to S1 and other things.
I saw you have been running Versusia solo question mark
Yeah, I'm
for the
trying.
past like week.
Yeah, no, I think Wind is still lacking too many things for it. But Meg and Mari makes it so you have more viable options on both first phase or second phase. At the moment for the solo, I'm not sure if you want them first or second phase, but yeah. Basically, Wind's best damage per damage team is Katz, Katura, and Meg and Mari. But the problem with the Wind in Vesusia solo is that you sort of want two teams, or you want one team that can survive the entire way. And to survive the entire way, you have to do like what Fire did, which is like put all the defensive buffs on everybody and then survive phase 2 that way. But unlike Sato in Fire, who has dodge all, Wind doesn't have a character that does that. So basically, whoever comes in just dies. So when I did a test I did Schooled, Sacrifice, Kaguya Sacrifice, and Summer Korva Sacrifice. So School provides permanent skill cap. Kaguya and Korva do defensive stuff. And pretty much my team who had those buffs, which was Katura, Meg, and MC, were completely fine. And then Katsu came in afterwards, just died in one turn to Vesusia.
Jesus.
So, like, if that was Sato just dodges and lives, so it doesn't matter. But Katz, the problem at the moment is like he can't survive the orders, but he does too much damage to cut. So I think at this point you're relegated to a 2-team Vesusia solo, but then our second team just doesn't have enough damage. Like there's plenty of teams that can get through phase 1, but not quickly enough. So like even yesterday, like we were running like Meg, Mari, Charlotta, and like Raphael, and you can still get through phase 1 without much issue, but you just take way too long getting to phase 2. So it's tricky. It's tricky. But at the very least,
Summer Sato will fix that for you.
Summer Sato will fix it. They have to do a lot. Because just breaking up Cuts and Katura is a lot of damage lost. And I think in phase 2 for the solo, just because of things like Cataclysm, you probably want Siete there. I'm not sure. Maybe you can cut Siete, but either way, this character's good. The big thing that they enable is after 5 stacks, they have charge attack twice. They do a lot of skill damage on Ogi. So without clicking anything, they're just charge attacking twice and doing a bunch of skill damage, and they're providing a lot of CA bar and specs to the entire team just by existing. So yeah, first solos, I think they really shine. I think in groups, I'm sure it's fine, but like with any character that requires ramp up time in groups, it sort of depends on the speed of the raid. They also came with a weapon. Marriage Shark Bell. I mentioned this in my banner video, but pretty much this weapon feels like just a strict upgrade of a Proving Grounds Heart for Rising Force setups. But the S1 is interesting because it has Double Strike and Flurry on it. So I have been testing out some more burst teams with Wizard Origin with it as well, which I guess we'll talk about.
Because Wizard Origin can use harps now.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that later. But yeah, the weapon's very good. The weapon is good. Cajun mentioned it, but I agree, which is that it's a shame to see seasonal weapons with such defining traits on them because it's harder to get them. Like previously, we saw grand weapons like Swan or Feeny Stick have things like this main hand weapon traits, but this sort of stuff being on seasonals just makes it so much harder to invest into and get them. We've seen it in the past with like the Rosamia sword and chicken stick and things like that too, but yeah.
I'd be lying if I said that this main hand didn't influence my decision to dump everything on this banner.
Yeah. It's tricky. And Formal at the moment feels like the most limited banner, as in like it's very hard to get the things on the banner. outside of this current period. So yeah, it's tricky. Mm-hmm. Also, you predicted this character
I sure
becoming
did.
formal.
And you said it. You just said it. I predicted it.
You did predict it. This weapon made you heavily consider pulling on an otherwise skipper banner. Yeah. Are you happy with their outfits?
I, I was pretty boring, and I originally thought, Meg would be in this suit and Mari would be in the dress, but I'm really glad that they switched it up. I think it's a really cool
I
and
think
fun
most people would have
thing.
thought that. Like I did too.
It's a thing that like you would default to because,
Yeah.
Meg is more
Combat.
masculine and
Yeah.
strong,
Yeah, exactly.
combat. So
Maybe that
it's a
says
nice
something about us
change.
as a society. So I think it's good that Cygames switched it up here. And I love that the Mari suit has like the hole in the back as well, as in a rune. Yeah, I think this was really nice, and it was on the last day of Pride Month as well.
A nice send off.
A nice send off. All right, Europa.
Who?
What do you mean who? We have formal Europa. Have you played around with this character much?
This banner came out like the day before I left for AX.
Mm.
I think the extent that I got to use her was like in the what the hell is this raid called?
Zamavolk.
Zamavolk
Yep.
full auto. That's it. That's all I got, and like it was basically the same as my old team. So
Alt says
it's
potential
fine.
woman. It does feel that way. She does a lot of cool things though. So I think the main thing that's really interesting is that she has the dancer skill, you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so where she copies whatever MC does. So if MC charge attacks, then Europa charge attacks. And if MC does a double strike, then Europa also does a double strike. She gets a tag team, a self tag, but for MC. But since it's on MC, now she will also attack as well. So it's like half a tag team. But the main restrictor in all her abilities here is that she needs something called Europa Castle. And Europa Castle is given to her not at the start of the raid, but you get it after Dance of the Ice Princess reaches level 5. And you can only get one of these stacks, I believe, per turn. At the end of turn, when allies deal damage 50 or more times, you get one stack. So it will so you need 5 stacks of these, so it's going to take a couple turns to get there. And then when it's up, it's only up for 3 turns. And while it's up, you can't build up any more stacks. So essentially, it's always going to have a downtime, right? So it'll be like 5 turns, then 3 turns, then 5 turns, then 3 turns.
Yeah, it
But those
definitely
3 turns,
feels
it feels
limiting.
very strong, yeah. It feels limiting for sure. We have seen some like meme, I would say more meme, like burst setups where you're just giving MC like all the instant attack as like possible. It is cool that stuff like that exists. I can see that being an okay team, regardless of whether it's optimal or not, because like any setup where you don't need to interact with the boss is automatically always going to be like fine to use, right? But yeah, at the moment, I'm not sure if she's going to be in any big burst teams. The Crollo Florence Europa setup, yeah, exactly. So like it's possible, but there's no way that it's going to be the fastest team is the thing, right? If Light gets Death Strike, she's going to be nice. I can see that. I think at the moment, one of the cool synergies is with Futsu, right? Because Futsu gets double strike now, so she's just going to have double strike when Europa Castle is up.
Yeah, that was my like immediate thought upon seeing the kit on release. Like, ooh, that Futsu stonks.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when you click tag team, she doesn't attack twice. I think that would have been cool if she did. But yeah, in tag team, she only attacks once. I think right now, she feels more like an FA character that has burst potential as well in the future. Like, if she ends up in a defining setup in Guild War, it wouldn't surprise me. But I'm not sure if that's likely at the moment.
Guess we wait and see. Oh yeah, I forgot Light Guild Wars next.
Like It War is next, yes. I guess we didn't talk about that, but Like It War's next, and then after that will be Dark Guild War. Do you think we see a Grand before Like It War?
Grand for sure, absolutely. It's just how they tend to time those things. In terms of Grand for Light, yeah, it's a bit of a toss-up, honestly. Like, I'm not entirely sure if they'll... Because Light has gotten quite a few things since last Guild War.
What's new?
Let me check my list. I know... Okay, I don't know.
So
Oh, hold on.
Illustriouses, obviously.
They got Caesar, they got Vajra, they got Anthuria, if that kind of counts. They got Karu, they got Fairy Princess, and the entire Light ODS weapon series.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Vajra is the biggest one there for sure. I think Vajra is going to be sort of like. Actually, I feel like she's going to be more widely used than Wamdus, because Vajra is early, but I think she can be late as well.
She definitely like picks up as you take more turns. So unlike Wamdus, who just kind of is pretty much just burst, and then like maybe that third turn where she can click her S3.
Yeah, Vajra is the biggest one for sure. In terms of, I mean, and they probably get their Ludern as well, right?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I guess we'll see, because we got Soul Invoker before Guild War on the perma banners. Did we get anyone mid-summer? Oh yeah, we did. We got Commander of Destruction during Lich banner. So we can definitely see a Ludern light summon during summer.
Holt says, I
Who
think
who
Vajra
is
will see
the
use in all difficulty. Yeah.
who's
Who's
the
what, sorry?
Ludern for light?
Let's take a look at Guild War.
I don't think we have any light ones that we haven't got besides like technically Bastet.
Yeah, but Bastet was stolen by Wind. That is interesting. Mars has already happened. And then at this point, we're like entering the Stone Ages. Yeah, interesting.
Feels like we've
Who
gotten
would
a
be
lot more since then.
Yeah. Normal Busted is possible, I think. Because Summer Busted is sort of its own thing, I suppose. If like it's a grand weapon, do you think it's Deathstrike? Or do you think it's something else?
I kind of hope it doesn't get Deathstrike. I'm sorry, Lightnings, but I don't. I think that's, I don't know, it's a little boring. It makes it feel like every grid is the same, which like it's been like that for like the past couple of years. Like every primal grid is like the same thing. So, but
Yeah. Light is the only element missing it, right? No, I think. Water has it, fire has it, earth has it, dark and wind. Yeah, so it's only light.
Yep.
It's only light missing. So I
Light
personally
has
think it's
movement, so who cares?
So yeah, light does probably get it at some point. But
Give them small Deathstrike. That'd be great.
Small Deathstrike. Dear Lord, I don't think that happens for light. You'd like to see a completely new mod. It is tricky because Mugen is such a big part of light, and Mugen is Deathstrike frame. But maybe it does lead to a road where you can cut Mugen. I mean, which reminds me, In some of my tests, I've been doing light kokoro because she gives like the death strike like frame. Is it A? I forget side A instead of Mugen just to cut some buttons, and it's been working. We're getting enough damage that is sort of possible now. So yeah, and that's on Magna, by the way. So
Ew.
perhaps there's something there. Yeah, I'll be the Magna correspondent this time for light, and you're the primal one.
Nah, my light is so bad.
What are you missing?
I'm missing second Dogtana and second Sword of Splendor. I'm missing the light illustrious, so like I don't even have those. That's about it, but it feels so big.
Yeah, those are like big weapons, or at least the second Dog Tanner is. I think the second Sword of Splendor is starting to see use now, but previously it wasn't. I think it was a topic for debate at the very least. All right. A couple days ago, 6 days ago, we had Wizard Origin release.
Yeah, that dropped like the first night we got to LA, I think. We were watching your stream when it happened.
Well, now this class has been a topic for discussion this past week.
Boy, has it. I didn't hear the end of it all weekend.
Yeah, like, okay, so basically, where should I start?
I don't know.
know.
I was literally stuck at like level 20 all weekend, and I think I finished it maybe a couple hours ago.
Right, yeah.
I haven't really used it much.
I've used it a fair amount, and I've tried doing a lot of things with it, mainly in wind and dark, and a bit of light guild war tests. I haven't really tested in the other elements so far. My thoughts on the class is that currently it feels the best in wind and dark, where you have characters or weapons or whatever that have a lot of crest generation. And I think that's the name of the game for this class at the moment. If you have a lot of crest generation, this class feels really good. So in wind, you have Lamarok, and in dark, you have Zosimos. I think without extra crest generation, the class feels a little slow. A little slow for probably, we'll talk about this later, but a lot of people consider it for a lackluster payoff as well, is the thing. I'm not sure I agree with that, but at the very least, for a lot of the big effects, you need a lot of crests. And if you're only getting crests from this effect here, then that's like 10 turns. It won't be 10 turns because you still have Ether Blast, but either way, it's going to be a fair amount of turns before you get to 10, is the thing. But on Wind and Dark, I think currently it feels quite nice because you can get 10 crests, like on Wind at least, like turn 4. And that's quite fast for some of these abilities. So I guess let's go through the abilities and things like that. I think this is like one of the defining traits of the class, which is that you just get a crest when you attack. You no longer need to have like a Lobelia or a crest summon as one of your main summons to start with a crest, which is really nice. And then the secondary effect of this is that at level 30 of the class, you get up to 10 crests. And this is important for the class's other skills and its passive over here, which is the boost to attack, defense, multi-attack rate, and damage cap. One part of this kit, which I think a lot of people dislike, is this second line. Upon gaining a crest, one turn cut to MC's damage skill standbys. Many people seem to have an issue with this being a standby and not a cooldown.
Oh, I didn't know that before. It's only standby?
It's only standbys.
That's That's stinky.
So I have thoughts on that, which is that if this was cooldown as well as standbys, this skill is not so insane.
It'd be kind of nutso.
No.
You're right.
No, I don't think it's even kind of not so. I think it's game breakingly broken if this had cooldown as well. Like just think about pretty much everything broken in Granblue comes down to cooldown reduction. Think about the Light Vesusia solo. Think about when Caduceus Overtrance was changed. Things like that. Having MCs cooldowns and not even like just all MC like having MCs cooldown be reduced unconditionally every turn. So everything is just half value. This nuke, which does, I forget how much, but it does a crap ton of damage.
It's a fat nuke. I from what I saw,
and it's now available every 3 turns. This
on
is
top of the Manatura nukes.
Yes, and then Burst Refrain is like almost hitting damage cap on each of its hits, and it does 10 hits. And this is now on a 6-turn cooldown. Like, basically, the skills as they currently exist cannot. It's not sustainable for this to have cooldown as well. So yeah, I think many people are honing in on this line and thinking that hey, it should have cooldowns. But I think as someone who's seen cooldown cut and as someone who's seen this class do like what it does, I think this having cooldown would get changed if it had cooldowns as well, cut to cooldowns. So yeah, I get why it feels stinky though, right? Because having a part of your kit not do anything after the first couple turns feels bad. But yeah, cooldown on this is not okay, in my opinion. That being said, part of the criticism here is also the fact that this class has 3 skills currently that have skill standbys. One is Burst Refrain, which has a 5-turn standby. And then the other 2 are from Warlock.
Yeah, I didn't know that Warlock had so many skills that had just like skill lockouts at the start. I didn't even buy them before. So
yeah, it's Resounding Chant and Demonic Flare. And both these skills are not the greatest, especially this Resounding Chant, because we'll get to it later, but the class doesn't get charge bar. So yeah. It's a non-issue if they counterbalance it by increasing the base skill cooldowns. But then that means they have to nerf Warlock as well. I mean, if the argument here is that, hey, they should add cooldown to this and then just nerf everything else, then isn't that achieving the exact same thing? If you're saying, hey, this should have lowered cooldowns and this should be a 12-turn cooldown, then it's effectively the same thing right now. Nothing's changed. So yeah, I don't understand. And the thing is, yeah, it's unfeasible because that means they have to go back and fix Warlock. Then they have to go back fix any other class skill thing. And it's also not just these skills, because in Granblue, you also have access to all these other skills as well. So like if I bring up our class skills here, it's not just Warlock skills, it's all of these damage skills that you have to now rebalance as well. It doesn't work. Yeah, it just doesn't work. But at the moment, like chat's talking about how they would add cooldowns to this and rebalance everything else. But I don't see what the point of doing that is when you can just not add cooldowns. Like, why are we nerfing everything to add cooldowns to this when you can just not add cooldowns to this and everything's fine? It feels like the gymnastics meme at the moment.
just a bit.
But yeah, there's that. One part of the kit, I think, is that's heavily overlooked is this, that based on MC's crests, This, I think, is the strongest MC steroids we've ever had on a class. Have you seen the numbers for this?
I have not. Tell me about them.
Here. At 10 crests, MC has 100% attack, perp,
What?
100% defense. Ignore the DA, but they have 100% TA and then 20% cap.
What? Okay, yeah, that's kind of silly.
So, yeah.
Like, who cares about the rest of the passive? Like, this is an entire passive in its own.
Yeah, like these numbers are nuts. Like if you compare them with the other Origin classes, it completely dwarfs them. So yeah, if you use the MC and they're just doing so much damage, this is why. Like yes, it does take a bit to get there because it's 10 crests, but once again, if you have a class or element that gets crests fast, it feels really nice. Paladins may be the closest with 100% normal might and 100% TA. Yeah. Like to be fair, like FO and stuff, they do have damage cap as part of their mastery bonuses, or like they have perp attack or flurry and things like that. But this on its own is so high. The numbers themselves. The second passive all the Origin classes get, so we'll look past that. But yeah, this third passive is part of the defining skill set here, and another part of some criticism, which is that the class has no charge bar gain. So this is not to be confused with hit to charge bar gain. No charge bar gain, what we've learned is that basically there is no way to get any charge bar. Splitting Spirit doesn't work. Instant charge doesn't work. Currently, the only way is to give charge bar to MC is through Maria S2, which is set your charge bar to a certain level, and by full elixiring.
I think this is the most interesting part of the kit.
I agree. It's unique. We've never seen this before.
And with the Manatura effects still activating with that, I think like that opens up to a lot of different strategies, and like it opens up the usage of other Manaturas that kind of otherwise suck a lot. I mean, like most of them still kind of suck, but I hope they release some like interesting Manaturas with this in mind as well.
Oh yeah, chat is reminding me. Yes, any charge bars at battle start effects, whether that's like Fairy, Charlotta, Huanglong, or just crew charge bar, that also applies to. Yes. So yeah, Maria, full elixir, and start the battle with X amount of charge bar. Those works. Yes, I agree fully with the Monitor statement, by the way, because immediately with this class, we've been seeing a lot more Monitors that you normally would not see. Like I've seen Baja. Personally, I'm not a believer of Baja, but
Baja sucks. It's really
I've seen it. I've seen it. It's something, but yeah, I've seen Baja.
My first thought was Wilnas, which was like 60% charge bar or something, 70.
Yep. But it does a dispel every turn. I think the issue with this one is that it's fire locked. I think if it was every element, you would see it maybe a bit more.
That's the most important element.
All right. Anyways. But yeah, I think we're going to see Wilnas in Guild War, like in the future, where you just free dispel every turn. Why not? And then the other one I've been using is Kitten for Dark. With certain teams, this is like a lot of cooldown cut. And we've also seen Kokomimi as well, a little bit, for like the Cosmos one-turn team. Where you give Flurry, and the main thing is you give Flurry to 6, and suddenly his counters are flurried, and they're doing like 13 mil on each hit. So he does 26 million. So he doubles his damage, basically.
I'm so excited to try that setup up.
It's good. It's good. And the thing about
does it have any overtime?
No.
Or does it brick on turn 1?
You brick on turn 1. You do like
okay, well.
You do like 5
I
mil
saw
honors.
that it does like 1 billion honors though, so it doesn't matter.
It does like 5 mil. So 5 mil full auto. Like if you want to manual that, then you'll do way more as well. Baha is the best for Cosmos because it's more hits than Ouroboros, but also Kokomimi. Yeah, Kokomimi feels better in that situation, at least from what I've tried. And then Minno also gets 2 bounty now. Wow. Very cool. The Mimic Minno. Also, I do want to say one part of the class I really like is that the outfit and the sprite looks cool as opposed to
Oh my
Mana
God.
Diver, which means that I don't feel compelled to skin the class. So I can actually
I've
see
been
the
wanting
monitor.
to skin my Mana Diver, but like I don't want to think that I'm running Wizard Origin on Mana Diver classes.
Oh, right, yeah. But yeah, I've always hated the Mana Diver outfit, so
It's not good. Sorry.
and the worst part about skinning Mana Diver is that it means that you lose the Minno. And I love seeing the Minno because I love the Minnos. So yeah, this class has been a topic for lots of different reasons. The main things I've seen is the one-turn cut to MC skill standbys and the lack of charge bar. And I think the lack of charge bar is a surprise for sure because the class wields harps. And harps tend to be charge attack focused currently in the game anyways. So the class not being able to charge attack consistently has been a bit of a talking point because one of our illustrious weapons is Andromeda, and this class won't be able to use it super effectively outside of turn 1.
Oh no, you can't use Broken Illustrious.
So yeah, I guess you don't have too many thoughts because you haven't had a chance to use the class too much.
Not really. I've only heard complaints without actually trying anything myself. I did try the Sieg setup with Wizard Origin, and it died. So,
Oh, you didn't hit mins?
no. It wasn't a blue. It was the full auto setup.
Oh, the full auto setup, right? Okay, yeah.
I didn't use the Cassius weapon, so maybe that's why.
Maybe.
But everything else was otherwise the same.
So yeah, I guess I'll give my thoughts here. Oftentimes, like I'm asked to give people recommendations on which origin they should get first. And that's a very loaded question because it's fully contextual, right? Like Elo, I think pretty much everyone would agree that if your grid can support Elo, then it's the best for burst. Whereas for like anything probably like 10 turn plus, then FO is probably going to win just out of pure value because of infinite blade. What is it called? I forget. Unlimited
Trouble?
blade. Infinite
unlimited
trouble.
Boost?
Unlimited boost because of unlimited boost.
Okay.
So yeah, Wizard Origin is sort of in this weird middle ground where I won't even say weird, but I feel like Wizard Origin is much more mid-range compared to the two, where Elo, for the most part, feels a lot shorter content, or like it shines more in very quick bursty things, and FO, like I said, is more like this longer fight, and W I think sort of slots into the middle there, but it really depends on your elements options, because I do think in elements like wind, it feels a lot nicer to use. And I'm sure with Zosimos, it feels pretty great to use as well. I haven't tested enough in other elements to say, but the little that I have done with things like light or dark without Zosimos, it does definitely feel like it might take a bit too long to reach certain points. I think Wizard Origin as an FA class is very, very good. I've seen people saying like this class is like bad, and I think that's just flat out wrong. It can't be bad with these numbers. Like the first passive alone, the numbers on that, it's nuts. And the fact that you can have Mana Tura on its like by itself is already good. So class is clearly good.
It's literally just like Mana Diver, but better in certain senses.
Yeah, in certain cases it's better. In certain cases it's unable to do what Mana Diver does, basically. I think like we'll go over the skills, but the class is clearly good. I think it will only get better over time as well. And that's not just because I think they'll add Mana Turas or the enemy skill system as well, but I think it's just because people will be more willing to like try out things with the class too. But because also crest characters is a distinct possibility as well with this class, and any amount of crest generation makes this class better. But yeah, I personally think the criticism towards this class has been way overblown. It's nowhere near as bad as people think. And I think if you actually have the class and you use it, you would understand as well. Because like it's a good class. It just doesn't have the big payoff skill like FO. So I guess let's talk about that a little bit. And because that's one of the biggest criticisms I've seen with this class is this is the ultimate skill. When you have 10 crests, you need 10 crests to use it. You get Boundless Staff, and you end cooldown for all damage skills on everybody. This first line is very good, but it depends on what's available in your element. I had a look in Wind, and Wind didn't have that many good red skills to reset. Whereas I think in an element like Water, you have a lot more good red skills. You have Yatima 3, you have Pela 1 as an example. I'm not sure how it feels like in Fire. Do you have any red skills that come to mind? It was like only Percy, but Percy doesn't really count because you can't click it twice in a row.
You need the buff.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's what makes this one a little trickier to evaluate. Because yeah, at the moment it's just like your nukes and you get a big click turn, which is fun, to be fair. But you know, most people, I think, don't want to click; they want to cut buttons. But yeah, this second buff, I think, is one of the biggest criticisms because it's only available for one turn. What it does?
Yeah, I saw the stats on this. It's an interesting spread of buffs that it gives.
Yeah, so it gives, I'll just bring it up here. It gives 100k sub, so the same amount as the 6 Dragons Call, and it doesn't stack with them. 10,000 damage mitigation, and then 20% elemental rigor, so a skill echo, essentially. And it's available for that one turn. I think the stats are very good, right? Like these two lines alone are very, very good. You can use this for a burst turn, even on like a normal attack thing, and it makes you do a lot of damage. Like 100k sub is nuts.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah. Even on Wind, where I was using Meg and Mari Harp and Lamorak, the difference with having this skill and not. So in one of the sets, I just had Echo, and in the other set, I had this as well. The difference was like I was hitting like 40% on the dummy without it, and with this, I was hitting like, I was hitting down to about 60% HP without it, and then with it, I was hitting below 50% HP. So it's a lot. 100k sub is a lot. 10k mitigate is a crap ton as well. 10k mitigate is the same as like Paladin's Sacred Mitigation. Sacred, I forget what it's called, but the mitigate skill on Paladin. What makes it harder to use is the fact that it's on the same button, because sometimes you might want an offensive skill and sometimes you might want a defensive skill, and sometimes that doesn't overlap. And then obviously for full auto, it makes it a little bit trickier because you can't time it as well. Sacred Protection is the name, yeah. At the moment, it feels like it's for this big sort of click turn where, you have characters like in Dark, like Hecate and Magisa, and then you reset everybody's red skills and then you get to click again and you just do a lot of skill damage on that one turn. But outside of that, it feels less useful. Because like for a normal attack team, I think you'd rather just bring a different skill, even though this one does make you do more burst damage on that turn. Maybe for hitting certain guild wall damage thresholds, it'll be okay, but yeah. I think people asking for
Yeah.
this buff to be indefinite is nuts. At least not with these numbers.
No.
Yeah, the numbers would have to be like significantly reduced for that to even be a possibility.
I can
But
see maybe like 3 turns,
yeah,
but like no.
and then I've also seen people asking for it to be recastable. But I think it having Kitten alone makes it not
Yeah, if it
viable for
didn't
that.
have Chilean on that, maybe. But the fact that it does this again, it's just like getting skills back sooner is just like a scary thing.
It is, yeah.
Sometimes.
And Erish brings
And
up a good
it makes
point.
it.
Yeah. Oh, you go first.
Go ahead. I mean, it makes it an interesting cook skill, like
Yes.
with the mitigation and the skill resets and such. You can definitely see that getting used in like some weird niche setup that needs both of those things.
Erish says, I think the skill is being looked at wrong. For Zosimos, it's more to get the passives off and more stacks as well as Hekate nukes. Yes, I agree. Like, I think the skill, I think that's a good perspective because the skill is able to get people who need stacks, like, get there faster, right? And that is a very important, like, point in getting teams to be more relevant because speed is what matters the most in Granblue. What if they made it like 000 and it's only first cast which resets cooldowns? I don't think they need to do anything to this class. I've seen a lot of people asking for rebalances, or like for them to update or buff the class, but like this class hasn't even been out for a week. Like, give it time to settle and cook and for people to actually give it a shot because many people are not even trying things. Like,
I remember people originally didn't think Lancer was that good either.
yes.
And Lancer's nuts.
Yeah, I was one of those people who thought, I mean, obviously, just like now, I thought Lancer was fine, but I thought Echo was far superior. But the fact of the matter is that Granblue is a game that requires many different teams, and there's so many different contexts where you use teams in. So, like when Elo came out and someone said, hey, Elo's going to be good for an Ogi team, I would have said, you're crazy. Even before this last skip, I would have said, you're crazy, right? But, you know, it was good for a charge attack team. So, WO, I personally really don't think they should do anything to the class. They should let it sit and let people do stuff with it because there's gonna be some, like, this game has like infinite amount of like combinations that you can put together. So yeah, I don't think they should be doing anything or changing anything with the class. You're gonna save your mats until someone makes it do stuff. I mean, yeah, if you have other origin classes to get, I completely understand going for something that's already tried and tested, like FO or LO. But if you're in a situation where you have nothing else to spend materials on, then I don't see why you don't get the free class that's available for you. Just seems silly to me. Either way, this skill, it's interesting. I think it's interesting. It's an interesting stat line spread, like you said as well. And yeah, perhaps there's going to be like some interesting breakpoints that you can hit because of the reset in the cooldown. I can fully see that. All right, next skill, High Chaser. High Chaser is 20% echo. So all of these are 5 turns, 20% echo, 10% amp, and then 120 crit rate. And then if you have 10 crests, it's double strike to the entire team. I think this skill is the best skill of the class. It's really good, I think.
For sure, absolutely. Especially since like a lot of content, you're kind of clearing in like really low turns where like the downtime on this doesn't really matter as much. And then when you do hit those like 10 crests and you get the skill of cooldown back, it kind of pops off too.
Yeah, like the wind team that I did was essentially double strike on MC every turn with this skill. So turn 1 was like Busted, I think, and then turn 2 was Meg and Mari Harp. Turn 3 was Yatima Call with Busted, and then turn 4 was this. And then you do this for a big burst turn. Team White Echo, Team White Double Strike being available, very, very good. It does have a long cooldown. It's 14 turns, but I think that's completely warranted with how many turns the Echo's up for and what it gives on the buffed version, which is the Double Strike. I think the other part of this skill, which is very, very, very important, is the crit. Because we have a fair amount of things that activate only on crits. So, like the light testing that I did with Sama Kokoro, she gives Echo on crit. And now I don't need crit in my grid. I can just click this skill. And that lets me cut Mugen. And I think that's pretty big. So, yeah. This skill is extremely good. Burst Refrain. CA Flash. And Dispel 3 times, along with some debuffs and CA Reactivate. This skill is good for the damage alone already. It does like, on my Magna Grid, like 44 million damage, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
It's a lot. It's sort of nuts. And then, yeah, you get CA Flash and CA Reactivate. I think this skill makes it possible to use this class in group HL teams. For solos, I'm not sure, but for group HL, you just click this for when Fast says, hey, do 5 charge attacks, you click this then.
That's literally what I thought about. Like, the single turn in Fa 0 that I need to Ogi, that's what this skill is for.
So, yeah, I've seen people say, like, hey, this class is unusable for HL, and I don't think they're familiar with HL, or at least how HL is played, or at least group HL is played these days. You pretty much turn off Ogi most of the time, unless you're running, like, Andromeda or something. But then, yeah, you would run a different class at that point. Yeah, I ran this instead of my LO team, and it worked. It was fine. Obviously, comparing to LO Romp is not really fair, because that weapon is sort of made for mashing a bunch of turns, whereas this class and Meg and Mari Harp weren't made for that. But it still gets the job done. The main issue, I personally think, with a mashing sort of HL team is that FO exists. And since you are taking a lot of turns, that's when FO tends to pay off a lot more. So, yeah, we'll have to see how this class plays in HL in the future. But as of right now, I think just putting this even in your Ogi off setups, just for the damage alone, is really, really, really good. Create the problem and sell the solution. They should not. I hate that argument. I've ranted about this already. I don't know if you guys caught one of my rants while you were at AX, but
I don't think so. No, not really.
Basically, one thing with this class that has been criticized a lot is that Cygames is putting in inherent problems with it, and they're selling the solution.
What are we selling?
Yeah, exactly. And
it's a free class.
And the argument here is that I think people are thinking that they're going to sell more CA Flash characters. And I think this, we're sort of moving on to different topics here, but this sort of goes into like one thing that I felt recently is that social media or like people seem in general a lot more cynical about the way Cygames operates in these days, where immediately it's like, oh, this class is released, it means that they're just going to sell more Crest characters in the future. Boo. Or if it's like, hey, this class release, it just means that they're going to put in monitors that are really hard to get in the future. Boo. Like things like that. And I don't really understand that perspective. So like going back to, hey, they created a problem to sell the solution. They should not have given it CA Flash. I don't understand that because let's pretend that 5 characters come out that have CA Flash. That doesn't make them good with WO. Like you're trying to force like WO to be this Ogi class, and why are we doing that when it's not really designed for it? Like one thing I've also seen is like Meg and Mari have CA Flash. They sold that character for this class, especially because the banner and the release overlapped. And it's like I'm not running WO in my Wind Ogi team because the class doesn't Ogi outside of the 2 turns where it gets CA Flash, and that happens like every 10 turns or whatever.
Oh
so
my god.
I don't get this problem, like create the problem, sell the solution argument. Because whenever it feels like whenever you look at any sort of downside, you could say the exact same thing. I've mentioned this before, but I don't look at Percy and be like, oh, this character doesn't get charge bar on normal attacks. but he needs to charge attack to click S3 again. So now they're going to sell the solution of a character that gives charge bar to him. Like, that's not how I look at this character, right? I don't look at Naru and be like, hey, she has Unworldly Ogi, but she doesn't get charge bar. Therefore, they're going to sell CA Flash characters or CH, like someone who gives charge bar to the character so that she gets double strike and is able to use Ogi. Like, these characters aren't designed for these situations, just like how I don't think Wizard Origin is designed to be in a charge attack team. If it gets no charge bar, it should just never charge attack. Why though? Being able to charge attack is an option that is good for those situations like Far when it has a labor when you need it. Like, I think that's just a bad argument. Like, characters or classes having downsides is part of game design and what makes characters interesting in the first place. So yeah, I really, I'm generalizing, but this argument of, hey, they're creating a problem and selling a separate solution, I in general just disagree with, because you can look at any downside, any shortcoming or weakness of any character, and you could say the exact same thing.
Hey, I'm still waiting for them to sell my Earth melee spread damage skill character. Where is that? Where's that
for your
character?
Frau? Yeah, like, I don't look at Mikaboshi, the recently released character, and be like, oh, this damage over time, they're going to sell a solution to this in the future, right? Because that's just the downside of the character for having like a different upside. Now, is the downside worth the upside? That's a debate, right? That's up for discussion. But characters inherently having downsides does not mean that, hey, they're just going to sell a solution. That's just a very cynical and pessimistic take, I personally think.
Well, either way, I'm excited to try out this class finally after like a week of not playing the game at all. So
I think it was fun. I've tried a couple different things. I've tried normal attack, more normal attacking FAs, and I've tried more skill damaging FAs. I've also done some meme ones, like in Dark I did like Lucius, Albert, Alethea.
What? Come on.
And then you just reset all your red skills.
That's crazy.
It's fun. I don't think it's particularly good, but it's still...
It's fun. It's a fun thing to do.
Yeah. On Lumium 3, it was like a 7-minute or 6-minute clear, somewhere around there. So it's not even that slow, to be honest. But yeah. And it's something there. Oh yeah, and there have been some bar setup upgrades because of the class. Like, Go is able to do it much more easily. Because you just have the crest at the start. And yeah, I've seen some WO setups for PBHL2.
Okay, but those aren't relevant because we have the best element, which is water.
Yeah, sure. All right, so that's WO there. What else have we missed since the last 10 for 10er?
I don't know.
Let's see.
I feel like an entire week of my life has just been wiped from my memory.
Yeah, I get that. It felt the same when I was in when we were in Japan, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, the id trailer came out. Did you watch that? That was before you left, right? For Granblue Versus.
For Granblue Versus, yes, I did.
I loved listening to the id theme in the trailer. I'm just bringing it up on stream here.
I'm curious if they do a season. Is it 3 now? I don't know if they will.
I think it isn't technically part of any season, right?
No, it doesn't feel like he is.
He's
it
just
feels like he's like
thing.
the Vera at the end of, was it the first season? something like that. But
I
I hope they do keep adding. But I wouldn't be surprised if they don't.
I think one thing I really noticed is like the parallels to Gran he has in the trailer, both from his like appearances and some of his moves and things like that.
I'm really curious what non-Granblue, non-Relink people think of id when they play him. I saw Max's response to it,
Mm.
but I'm curious what other people think as well.
I think he's a cool character. I don't like I'm still not the biggest fan of his
The
dragon
dragon
form.
form?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like it. But I'm glad they added like his super duper form as well. The
I'm
like super saiyan or
yeah,
whatever.
I'm most excited for the music. Its theme is like one of my favorites in Relink. So yeah, that I am very excited for. Mhm.
Oh, speaking of Rising,
Yeah,
did you see any of the Rising tournament
from
at
Evo.
AX?
Oh no, I didn't.
I'm so sad. I got there at like 1:30.
Yeah,
Um, so I missed like basically all of it. I hope someone posts the tournament somewhere, but I did catch the Fukuhara versus Koji Koko match. Holy crap, that was like pretty hype. That was nuts.
um,
It like Fukuhara played Lucilius and Koji Koko picked Sandalphon
yeah,
to match him. And it was a really tight match, I'll say that.
yeah. That sounds really fun. I want to watch that too. I think I do know the result because I saw on social media people talking about it. But yeah, it seems it sounded like it was an intense match. I hope it's good in Relink. I really wanted to like the character in Relink.
I
It's just
tried him for a bit, but
I just don't like the dragon
I
form.
don't it didn't feel good.
I just wanted
I
to
don't
stay in
like the
sword form.
form.
Yeah, I just wanted to stay in sword form all the time. I Relink embargo is lifted, and apparently we do know like all the mastery skills. So I don't want confirmations in chat, but
Yeah, I'm not reading any of
yeah,
those.
we're close enough that I don't want any confirmations. But I'm hoping that one of his mastery traits or whatever lets him just stay in sword form. Um, so yeah, Koji had to get serious instead of just messing around. Yeah, that's fun. So yeah, character I'm excited for. Any season 2 hopes or season 3 in versus like
Um,
characters?
I'm still on the Siete train. I'm sorry.
I would do want Siete. It sounds like they do want to diversify who's in both games though, right?
Yeah, we definitely got that vibe from the Relink editions. Um, but we'll see who they end up adding. Do we have anyone left from like the very first like popularity poll?
Silver, think.
I don't know. So I'm sorry.
Think Silver was on there. I think John was on there too. But like that popularity poll is old at
It's
this point.
old.
Like there's a lot of irrelevant characters on there now, I feel. Sheep says I'm not allowed to talk about it. Sheep knows something. Get them.
Chat, get him.
Get him. So yeah. There's
Eliza, yeah,
oh
no.
yeah, Eliza. Yeah. I think I think they should I think they should add some of the newer ones rather than those guys. All
Maybe
right.
Frau will be so popular they add her to Rising.
Okay, you're just coping. All right, so we had Koregra come out as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I had to ask Cajun to add everything to timeline
It was like the
because
day
I was
before you
like
were leaving
at
or
the
something.
I
Yeah.
was at the airport.
Oh, right. So Wizard Origins already happened. ROTV came out. We finally have a way to get more profile stuff? Do you like your new Frau sticker?
I haven't really played Rise of the Beast yet, but that's like the first thing I'm getting. So,
Yeah.
yes.
They added like Chichiri and all the other Saint stickers as well. It's really cute. And yeah, this run they don't have the 4 symbols because they gave us extra last time
Right.
accidentally. So this run doesn't have any new. So if you guys are wondering, hey, how come there's no new 4 symbol stones? That's why. We have rucksack battles at the moment. You're a big rucksack fan, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow.
So excited.
What's your favorite class to play?
Yeah. Gladiator.
Okay, all right. They added new trophies this time.
Those will stay there.
They added new trophies, but they have not made any balance changes. So have fun ranking with Necromancer. That class stinks. All right.
Hey, I saw you die on like Rising Force and Lumberjack a bunch, so
I mean those are underperforming classes as well. The best classes are Chrysol, Chaos Ruler, Shield Swan, and probably one I've forgotten. Yeah, but either way, that's like the meta classes, and like Lumberjack is like C tier at best. They got to do some balance changes. And Necromancer, I think, is the worst class. I think it's been a while, so I will get some of the trophies. But honestly, once Relink comes out, I'm probably just playing that. And speaking of, we have Golden Bubs. Do you like the art?
yeah, I saw the animation too on the animation player.
Oh, is it
Pretty
a lot different? I
cool.
haven't seen it actually.
Yeah, it's definitely not Chaos Legion. It's way different.
Oh, is it like the summer? I mean, I'll have a look at it later, but I'm imagining maybe like the summer bubs, the things that stick out from the ground. Maybe
It's better.
it's better. Okay, all right. I'll have a look later. Along with this, we are now able to link our accounts to Cygames ID if you are on the Japanese version of the game. So there's that. If you haven't done it, you can do that through the in-game menu system, the settings. We have Tales of Arcarum Judgment coming out, and then this time they are also adding Justice and Hanged Man materials to make it easier to get those 2 characters, because at the end of the month, we're going to get Evoking Solomonis.
It makes me wonder if they're going to continue Tales of Arcarum, if they're doing Maria and Kaim bonuses now, or if
Is
they're going to
Judgment
do some
last?
other thing. Judgment is last.
Okay.
Alanan was before.
Interesting. Yeah, I do wonder if they're going to do something else. What if Evoking Solomonis is like a event rather than like a
It
permanent?
better not be.
I don't want it to be either, but okay, we'll talk about it more in a sec. Kokoro SSR. Thoughts?
Sure. Water gun character, we'll see.
Yeah, what a gun character.
I don't think she's going to be anything, but, you know.
What a gun is immediately scary. That's the thing.
And that's why they're just not going to make her very good.
Yeah. This is a really cool addition, which is you can randomize your MC's outfit.
Yeah, you can explode your asset load.
And you get to choose the pool of things it can randomize from as well. So, you know, if you don't want it to choose stinky alien skin, then you can exclude that.
Oh, definitely will.
You definitely will. What would you put in the randomized ones?
I think that all the Guild Wars skins are fun. I've got some like I like the ROTB skins. I'm sorry. I think they're all good. Even the wind one.
I like the wind one too. I do like the other ones better, but
I think I have some like whale ones as well. I might put in that I like never use. I forgot I have the Vern outfit too. I'm still so sad I don't have the Mecha skin. I want that one so bad.
the which one? Oh, the Machas, yeah. Yeah. Why did people
Any
hate the
Japan
wind one?
friends want to help me
Japan.
out?
I wanted to. Didn't people get banned for that?
Because they did it wrong.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay. Why do people hate the wind one? I think a lot of people just don't like how it looks. No, water one's pretty popular. Water one's very popular, I think, because of the art. People geo-spoofed. I thought there were people who got mistakenly banned, even though they were there in person. But maybe that was just like a rare instance of a false positive. 714 default full auto. Oh my god, I'm so happy. Was yours
This
always
does
set to
not
this?
affect me. Mine was always set to full
Yeah.
auto.
So yeah, if you guys didn't know, this used to be a setting in the game where you could just start things by being full auto by default. But at some point they changed it. I forget why. But at that point, it took whatever your setting was at that time. And mine was off, and some people like Omikins was on. So
It's
now
funny
that,
because I feel like I have to turn off full auto for most new fights.
right, because you just want semi-auto.
Like most new fights are just like event bosses, so
Any thoughts on RTB skin for light and dark? I hope they add one in the future. I think they will. All right, co-op room recruitment information. On July 14th, co-op rooms will be updated to provide an official in-game UI, which elements are being recruited for the room. Additionally, there'll be a feature to indicate if a room is for practicing. I hope that this isn't the queue system that they talked about in the past. But yeah, we'll have to see. I feel like it might be, because what's the point of this if there is going to be a queue in the future, right? I don't know. At the very least, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
At the very least,
I
having
hope they
easier co-op.
eventually add a like some way to make it easier to matchmake. Just
Yeah.
like auto find rooms.
Yeah, just having to refresh for it is very annoying. Side story being added. This was one of my first summer events ever. I'm pretty sure. I think it was my first summer event, actually. So this one is very nostalgic for me. And then we have Bleach.
Right. They announced the summon.
They announced the summon, and we have Ichigo's element. So Ichigo is dark, and then the summon is 3 of the captains, and it is a wind summon.
Lucky. I hope they add another wind summon.
Why would you hope that?
You're pulling on this banner, right?
Only if there's something relevant.
Huh.
But they have deconfirmed like 2 captains here, I feel, who people were maybe saying for playable characters, which is Kenpachi and Byakuya. So yeah, we'll have to see. You know nothing about this, right? This anime?
Not really, no.
Do you have any like characters you've seen before on social media that you like the look of or anything like that?
No, I don't really care for Bleach.
You don't care for Bleach, okay.
The only thing I remember is Grimjow and is it Ukiora?
Yeah, yep.
That's it. That's the only ones I know.
They're popular, both of them. I think Grimjow actually has a chance.
Is he relevant for this part of the arc, though?
So I'm not familiar with this part of the arc, but I was told yes. I was told yes, but basically everybody shows up. So
I thought he died. I thought like they just like died during their arc or something.
That I will let chat answer that, because I don't. It's been so long for Bleach for me. And then towards the end of the month, we have Nihui Vinte, 6-man, with 2 new weapons and a 5-star uncap.
Is it crazy to say this is like the least exciting thing that's coming
this month? I think
like I don't care about this raid. Everything else during the month is so much more exciting than this.
As of right now, I'd agree with you. I think once the raid comes out and has some crazy weapons or something, it could very well change.
But there's Evoker Transcendence. Hello? Who
Yes.
cares about Niku Vente?
Okay, yeah, this is by far the biggest news. And they just said late July. We have no date for this still. So Evoking Solomonis will come out and we'll have level 110 of Kaim and Maria. To be honest, I'm not expecting a lot from 110. Like the Eternals 110 was just their charge attacks and an EMP. It wasn't a lot. I think the interesting thing here for me will be the game mode and what materials it requires for 110.
I kind of hope it doesn't require Evilites because I have not been buying those with Valor.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're really expensive. I mean, you would just use your
I have
Zuno.
spent a lot of sections on gold bars.
What?
I have like 200 sections right now.
Oh my god.
Like there was no reason to save them.
I can't
like
believe
it
you
was
did
just
that.
free bars.
I have 894. Well, for your sake, I hope there's no Everlights.
I mean, surely I'll have enough valor to just buy them
As they come
every
out.
guild tour.
Yeah, I think so. Realistically, I think there is an Everlight somewhere, right?
Yeah, like we've gotten so many Evilites over the years. Like we just have, if you are up to date, you just have surplus at this point.
So yeah,
But
there's
they
that.
keep selling them, so like they have to use them somewhere.
Yeah. And then yeah, the new game mode comes out with it. They have said that the characters are set in the like depending on whether you choose Maria or Kaim, but they haven't talked about the weapons. So I'm hoping that the weapons are locked as well, so you can't use your own. Just based on the roguelike nature of the game, I think it trivializes it if you can bring your own grid. Just as a PSA, you do need Kaim or Maria's fourth skill to to enter this game mode. So make sure you have that if you were wanting to do this. When do you think the evokers will be done by? Like 150?
Probably maybe around Annie next year.
That's how many months is that? That seems reasonable, right? I think Eternals was around that much as well.
Eternals started in December and finished in August, I believe.
Yes, it was 8 months there as well. So yeah, finishing in March would be about 8 months here. So that sounds about right. And the order
Okay, but
is
when is Frau?
Frau is wave 3. So I'm expecting Nia maybe before Dark Guild War. Thoughts?
Oh yeah, I can see that.
So Nia before Dark Guild War, and then it'll be, and Dark Guild will be November, right? So maybe around October, September would be wave 2.
And then
Probably
Earth Guild War with Lobelia. And you have to pick between 130 Lobelia or 130 Kaim. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing I think is guaranteed is there's going to be some time gate aspect, like the blue papers for Eternals. And when Eternals came out, people had to choose. And I see the same situation here. And probably like with every time they introduce a time gate, people are not going to be happy that there's a time gate.
It makes it fun. I'm sorry. Sometimes time gates are fun.
I agree. I think time gates are necessary. It's a necessary. I don't want to call it evil, but yeah, it's a.
You will blow through so much content if they didn't time gate. Like you just have nothing to do.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that was the final big thing. I get it. I guess at ExtraFes they announced 2 songs, which was the Zeta song and the
Mm.
Feather and Randall song. I'm sure you're excited about that one.
No.
Do you like the Zeta outfit?
I do. I have the CD in my cart. Shipping is like $30, so I'm like, what else should I get? But I will be getting that on release.
I'll bring up the Zeta art here so chat can see. And then I guess at ExtraFes there are rumors of a new character.
Heavy rumors.
Yes. At the moment, I don't know if it's been confirmed by any obviously official sources won't confirm it, but
We usually see leaks somewhere.
yeah, we usually see like a photo of the slide or something. But
Even they're like, please don't take photos. We generally see it at some point.
yeah, but this time all we've seen is people reacting to the news or people asking if the news is legit, which is Summer Artman, who we saw in the currently running, not anymore, but in the most recent event. If we do see Artman, what element do you think he is?
Put him in light because that'll be really funny.
You just want to see them suffer, or you just think he's
Yeah.
really bright and dazzling, so he's light?
The second one, definitely.
The second one? Oh, okay. The sparkles, yes. I think he is light or dirt.
Dirt, really? I
That's the
don't say
vibes I
that.
get.
That's my second main.
That's the vibes I get. So yeah, at the danger of predicting that he's dirt, I do think that. But I think light is more likely.
I do think Atman and Osiris make a good like first banner.
That would be cool,
So.
yeah. I think we see Osiris, right? At some point this summer period.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we'd only be missing Ra at that point from the Enneads.
Which will be later in the summer.
You reckon she's summer this
Enjoy.
year?
I don't know.
You
I can
don't know?
kind of see Halloween, which would be really funny too.
I think Ra
Sorry.
Halloween would be cute. Yeah.
It would be really cute.
I mean, Halloween isn't the best. It's not a bad month for me because assuming that they don't get rid of the all Halloween banner, then I could potentially spark her there with Lance.
I think Ra with two like swimming tubes spinning
On her
just fits
arms.
really
Oh,
nicely
yeah,
though.
that does, yeah. I can see that too. Yeah, we'll have to see. Ra's been this like boogeyman around the corner for so long now for Wind. So definitely scary. She has so many, like her raid is entirely all charge attacks too, is the other thing. Like charge attack omens. Like I don't know if that translates to her being a charge attack character, but something to consider at the very least.
I mean, all of the Enneads have been kind of charge attack characters besides Bennu.
Yeah, besides Bennu, I think that's correct, right? Horus is, Atum is, Bennu isn't, and
Tefnut.
Tefnut is, yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see.
And Dark does need more charge attack support. So
yes, it does for sure. Any final summer predictions? You said Beatrix
I
on my
already
thing.
made my guess.
You made your Beatrix guess. No other guesses.
Even with Bea, I was kind of unsure, but like to give a little background into my guesses, they always do a grand character seasonal somewhere. But I feel like lately they've also been kind of doing like rising relink characters.
They have. I agree with that.
which informs my Meg guess for formal, and that's why
Right.
I did Meg for that.
Okay. Yeah, I said Sato mainly because Mirin and Shion have summer versions.
I think that's a pretty good guess.
The
It's
scary,
just, do they do it this year?
the scariest thing about Sato though is that she would be wind, right?
Sure.
Because they're all in fire already, and they're not all in wind. Only regular Mirin and Summer Shion are wind.
They could
So
start a third element and do water.
I mean, there's Holiday Mirin, which is water.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, but yeah,
wait, you also play water? No, don't.
well, it's a good thing for me either way if it's water or wind. But I also just sparked on Meg and Mari, so I don't want to spark again so soon. So yeah,
It's okay. You have the Osiris Atman buffer.
yeah, and I'm hoping that after last year where they put 3 wind things back to back to back, they're sort of
That
like,
was
hey,
so evil.
followed by Halloween Lance as well. I just want to say, like, I'm hoping that they don't do that again. So yeah. All right. Any final words that you want to say before we wrap up the podcast for this time?
I can't wait to not talk to anyone for like another 2 weeks. I'm so socially drained from
You're socially
this
drained.
past week.
Well, on that note, our next tenor for tenor is probably after Flash, which is probably next Sunday. So that is not probably not 2 weeks there, but it gives us like a lot of days for Relink, which I'm very excited for, and I'm sure you're probably one of the most excited people there is on the planet.
I am. I hope I have enough time to play what I want.
I'm excited to try out Frau and Adil.
You're not allowed
mainly.
to.
I'm not allowed to try Frau.
No dupes.
Am I allowed to play Adil, Song, any other character?
Absolutely.
So just
Play
not
whoever
Frau.
you want. It's your game.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm excited to try out Frau.
Nope, not allowed.
All right. So until the next episode, this has been Tenor for Tenor. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye.